So, Tom on Shelby, since not to put you on the spot, I don't mind to do the Bivens and all that, but since Duran's not here, do you want me to go ahead and take it, or would you like to take it, bud?
I can go ahead. Well, I can read it.
Okay, I'm trying to bring it up right now, the agenda. So give me just a second. I don't know how much of the reading of, I just basically worried about the Bivens decision. All that good stuff. Stop this video here. All right, welcome everybody. Tonight is May 28th, Tuesday, May 28th, the Kentucky Assembly's May General Assembly meeting. I'm Justin, the Marshal at Arms. We have Tom on Shelby County, which is a co-coordinator and the General Assembly coordinator. Tom, if you'd like, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This meeting is private. Bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflicts and false allegations, could you scroll down a little bit for me, Justin? Thanks. Is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Additionally, are there any U.S. citizens or citizens of the United States present? Anyone who is here under false pretenses, who is working for any foreign government, including the territorial United States or municipal United States, anyone who is being paid or coerced to be here, must fully disclose their presence and purpose now or leave the premises. If they subsequently show up as federal witnesses, they are discredited for failure to disclose. Is there any response to the Bivens decision? Is there any response to the Bivens decision? Is there any response to the Bivens decision? I'll go ahead and read the decorum as well. Please note that this meeting is for the General Assembly. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the call, but please keep questions to general questions and not personal specific questions. Please mute until ready to ask for the floor by using the raise your hand emoji. When you do ask for the floor, say your first name and county, as this will help ensure a better recording playback, as well as let everyone else on the call know who has the floor. Please be mindful when others are speaking and don't interrupt people who have raised their hand and asked for the floor. It is very important to address each other in a respectful manner and have courtesy when others are speaking. If you have a misunderstanding, please take that offline and do not involve others on the call. Everyone needs to remain respectful and courteous. Use the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. Please be mindful that all of us are volunteering our time to get the assembly up and running. Please be patient. Thank you for your time.
All right. I can get the assembly values if you'd like.
All right. Thanks. I yield.
Thank you, Tom. All right. The Kentucky Assembly values. We, the members of the Kentucky Assembly, consist of willing and able volunteers who donate our resources as much as we are able. We are self-governing men and women, conducting ourselves with honor, respect, integrity, peace, and love. We keep the peace and uphold the public law. We treat our fellow living men and women in the same manner as we would like to be treated ourselves. Each one of us has rebutted in written form any corporate presumptions of who we are. Our documentation includes an autograph, name, and seal. We continually study the paperwork process, the process of assembling, the plan for reconstructing our lawful government, our role as assembly members, and the role of the Federation, the United States of America unincorporated. We are here to support the assembly and to do our best to provide our ideas, skills, and talents. We present our ideas to the assembly by working together with established committees and then by bringing these ideas to the assembly for a final vote. We are honest, truthful, peaceful Americans who continue the efforts started by those volunteers that came before us. We continually educate and improve ourselves, better in enabling us to help others to do the same. We refer to ourselves as Americans on the land and soil jurisdiction. We are either American state nationals or American state citizens. The term sovereign citizen, however, is an oxymoron. Sovereign citizen is a mutually exclusive construction because one cannot act both as sovereign and as a citizen at the same time. If any of us fail to conduct ourselves in a manner consistent with the values of self-governance, we will be given the opportunity to correct that mistake. In this way, we will help each other to both keep the peace and uphold the public law. To this end, the ombudsmen are here to provide us with assistance and guidance. If needed, the assembly will provide additional assistance and, when necessary, fair and just consequences for inappropriate behavior. Right here is a list of the websites that we currently are monitoring or maintaining. This is the info. So this is set up to be like an outreach for new people that are coming to us. And this Kentucky State National is set up to be a resource for those of us that have status corrected. Here's the coordinator's email, Marshal at Arms email, and the state secretary email. All right, just take note that this link that you have sent to you tonight to get on this meeting is good for the next 4 months. May, June, July, and August. So please self-govern accordingly. Save the link, but we will send out the link every last of the Monday or last of the month in order to get people that haven't, if they come on mid-month or something like that, we'll send the link out to everybody again. And you can, right here, well, in the link to today's email or tonight's meeting, there's a link where you can save it to a calendar, like an iPhone or a Samsung. It'll automatically save to your calendar, and that way you'll be tracking. All right, I yield, Tom.
All right. We're going to talk about new business.
Yeah. Let me read this real quick. I apologize. We have several requests from members who would like to step up for open positions. Todd Carney, he asked to be the lead on the militia with Chris Kelty as co-chair and Nick Gilbert nominated by Belinda and Bullitt County to be the state coordinator. That all needs to happen tonight, I guess, if that's going to happen. We need to request an SIA coordinator to step up for Kentucky. Kentucky really needs an SIA coordinator to handle the debt relief and other items that are processed through this position. Belinda and Bullitt has gathered the information for the debt relief, and the Kentucky coordinator will be passing this information along. However, without SIA coordinator attending those meetings, updates may not come as often. And this is much needed for Kentucky State National.
I will step up and do that.
All right. So you can get with one of the coordinators then, right? You got the coordinator email?
Yes, I do.
Okay, dope. We'll get more into that too as we get into the new business coming up too, Laura. We'll have more discussion about it. So we'll start off with the coordinator report. Tom, how are you?
All right. Thanks, Justin. Duran, are you on there? Do you have anything you want to start off with?
I'm on here, can't get my video working, and I'll wait till you read the title, the description. I'll put it there.
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the positions that are open that we want to nominate for. Belinda on Bullet would like to nominate Nick Gilbert to become the Kentucky coordinator and join Durand and Tom. We are growing, and the coordinators are our leads and need to coordinate with all areas of the pillars to keep us moving forward. I would like to see a lead coordinator lead the Kentucky General Assembly pillar and a coordinator over each pillar to ensure that the pillars are meeting the goals, getting the attention, and needs met. That would create a strong foundation for others to step up into the roles of each pillar, and we can all work together to build each pillar and become complete. For instance, Tom is leading the General Assembly pillar already. Doing a wonderful job, thank you. However, as we grow, Tom would love some help, absolutely, and support from other members to complete the General Assembly pillar. I am creating an environment of learning and leadership. I'm sure everyone would like to see this in all pillars. And so a vote is needed on Nick for the Kentucky State Coordinator.
I'll second that motion. After Belinda.
All right, Justin, are you able to roll call the vote?
Sure. Can I, while we're on the coordinator discussion, can I share something from today's podcast? I have it queued up. It's like 4 minutes, 5 minutes at tops. I've got it on 1.5 speed to speed it up.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. So since we're on this topic of coordinator, I just want to play what was said actually today. So this is the latest information on the coordinator position. So give me just a second. Bringing it up now.
Meetings or seems to desire to get our.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, well, I heard some.
No.
To our British territorial subcontractors for their use when they were exercising delegated authority on the high seas navigable inland waterways. Okay, so we designed and we spent Superior British territorial. So yes, British territorial might, pledge allegiance to the British crown.
Here we go.
But we should.
All's well, Mel says, how do we handle if our coordinator is not holding meetings or seems to desire to get our state up and running? I'd say get a group together and make a group of coordinators and is doing coordinator training every Thursday. And we're sharing the links for that on our Telegram channel for the United States of America podcast if you are interested in that. So you should totally come to the training.
I would also say who's in charge? Because when you look at our 4 pillars chart, above our coordinators are our peoples, our ASNs and our ASCs. And part is standing up and saying, this is what we want. This is what our state needs to look like. This is how we're going to move forward, and do that in lawfully and within the blueprint. But at the same time, they're not a CEO.
Right.
The people take charge. The people are the ones that stand up the assembly, not the coordinators. Get involved. Raise your hands. Get on a committee. Period.
Don't stand around and wait for the coordinator. You can function as your own coordinator.
Oh, tell us about that.
Well, a coordinator is a volunteer who steps forward from their state and union and says, I'll help my state get organized. That's it. Okay, the federation doesn't go out and beat the drums and hire people and interview and set the coordinator out there for the state. The coordinator is a volunteer from the state and not necessarily affiliated with the state assembly at the time they volunteer to do the work. They're just kind of standing up and saying, okay, well, I can help my state get organized. And then they go do it. Here's the blueprint. Here's how we're organized. This is what this needs to be done. Here's why it needs to be done. And then we answer questions as we go. And, the federation does not choose coordinators. And the state assembly doesn't necessarily choose coordinators. State assemblies, once they're up and rolling and beginning to have meetings and things, state assemblies can certainly put forward people that they would like to have volunteer as their coordinator. But, this is not the coordinator's job is pretty unique at this point because there were no standing committees walking into this. Okay.
Lisa, what did you do? Because I know what Lisa did something pretty spectacular.
Well, as far as for us, we on Ohio saw that our coordinator was really serving more as a liaison between the Federation and us. And the Ohio Assembly decided that what they needed was more assistance, but they wanted that in the way of a chairman. And I have to say, I don't mean to say that, but I had some unique skills that they identified. And part of that was empowering people to form the committees, to go out and in some ways identify the people that had skills or talents that could get a committee going. And so we started forming our committees. And then from the committees, they elected their people to speak for their committee, to help get their organization together. And from that, we just kept forming. We kept moving, we kept organizing. And in that, all of our committees all of a sudden really started rising. People got invested. And that's, more than anything, the engagement of the people themselves. They felt like it was well worth their time and their investment and their talents to get their committees and their assembly up and rolling. And it kind of organically grew from that to the point where, like I said, we just completed our public elections last night for all of our officials. And, we're working on finishing up our General Assembly. Everyone is very highly engaged. They're engaged in their own learning. They're engaged in cooperation of committees. They're getting it. And that takes a while for them to really get to the knowledge point where they're comfortable getting on that committee, researching. So, I always told our assembly, if you're not reading an hour a day, you're really cutting yourself short. You've got to be able to study. And being a coordinator, being a chairman, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yep.
And it's a lot of organization. That's not incorporation, that's organization. And so it really takes having, trying to find someone who's willing to put in that work to help the committees communicate, to help them organize, and to teach what needs to be taught on the assembly to bring people into an engaged assembly.
I have a question for you. When you were doing that, Lisa, because you're one of your incredible.
So I just want, sorry about that. I just wanted to share that with everybody. I'll put that link to that podcast, today's podcast, in the chat after I yield. I really encourage everybody to start getting on those podcasts, at least watching them, saving that channel on YouTube, because this podcast in particular, and there's been a couple of more, but this is the 35th week. So they've been doing this for 35 weeks now. And this podcast in particular has a lot of really good information on it as far as county level coordinators, all kinds, a whole gamut of questions asked. So I just wanted to share that as far as the coordinators aren't necessarily CEOs of our assembly. They're the ones that have stepped up to take, I hate this term leadership, because it's not really a leadership, because we're all leaders. But it's a jurisdictional and a duty thing. So I have my stuff that I do as state marshal on. Coordinators would have their things to do, chairmen and so on and so on. So while we're talking about this, I'll get the roll call list generated, and I'll yield for anybody else that has anything.
Justin, may I? This is Belinda on Bullet. I just wanted to let you know that Cynthia is here with me. She's not going to be logging in on her own.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
This is the Devon Merle Bay on Jefferson. In accord with the video, and I've expressed this before, that we encourage people to, in particular, join and support and assist the coordinator position. As Nick has offered to step up. We welcome him, and I hope he gets everybody's support. But we need more people on, because the more we have, the more help we can get, and more people can get on these videos of Anna in the coordinators meeting and get the information and get it down to everyone in different forms, fashions, and based on one's understanding of what was spoke on. It's very essential, because if we have the information coming in from different people, more we can get out of it. So I encourage anybody to step up and help us in this coordinated position. I yield.
All right, this is Justin on Lincoln. Before we do this roll call vote, we have Nick that's been nominated by Belinda. This is your chance, right? Well, it's not the final chance, but is there anyone else on a county that would like to be a county coordinator? We need a pool of coordinators. And what I'm asking for is, once we get a bunch of coordinators, the more the merrier. Okay, y'all? It's not just a one man or woman role. It's from what I've seen from other states, it's each county should have some type of coordination. And if for example, I'm the only man on Lincoln County. So right now for Lincoln County, I'm the militia coordinator, the General Assembly coordinator, and all that, right? At the county level. But once a month at the General Assembly meeting, I would step up as a state citizen to do the state marshal at arms role. So our system is fluid like that. It's a common sense system. So before we take this roll call vote to second or to yay or nay the motion on Nick's, is there anybody else that would like to step up and join Deron and Tom Gluck on in the coordinator position as far as for your county? And this way we can start having coordinator meetings. Somebody, I guess Nick or Deron, y'all work that out, but somebody take the lead to where we can start setting up meetings at your all's convenience, having coordinator meetings, discussing this stuff and putting it out. Go ahead, Lori, your hand's up.
Yes, I was just going to ask about being the SIA coordinator. I already have Duran on Jefferson, so it would be foolish for me to step up for that, but I don't mind doing the Sign in America course. I yield.
Yeah, for the Sign in America, you're going to have to get with the coordinators, because the coordinators are the ones at the tip of the spear on this information. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do the coordinators. Sean, on Franklin County, did you have your hand up for a county coordinator?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So for the record, we have Belinda on Bullitt County that has nominated Nick on Garrett County for the Kentucky coordinator. Now, I don't care who's the state coordinator. It's just all titles to me. So once we do this, my suggestion, and y'all handle it however you need to handle it, but my suggestion is everybody that is motioned in tonight as a coordinator, get with me, set up a meeting, and y'all have a meeting and discuss where we're taking the assembly further. Does that make sense? Okay. Sean, on Pulaski, your hand's up.
I didn't think I'm sorry. That was a mistake. I apologize.
Oh, okay. No worries.
I think Nick had his hand up a while ago, but it looks like it's gone.
I thought he was clapping.
I was clapping.
Okay, sorry about that.
All right, before we do this, Nick, would you like to say anything, bud?
No, but the reason why I was clapping was because I was agreeing with what Duran was saying. You know, we need multiple people on this, whatever it takes to get our pillars stood up. You know what I mean? I'm here and I'm willing. I've got good organization skills. You know, I've run 3 businesses in my life, and if we need somebody to kind of put the fire up, on, you know, and get some people moving, vote me in here and we'll get it done, brother. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
I yield.
Hey, this is Tom on Shelby. I nominate Nick for the international business pillar coordinator. You've run 3 businesses. You need to stand up the business pillar. I yield.
I second that. Duran on Jefferson, Duran Merle Bay on Jefferson.
Put me on it, brothers. I'll get it done.
Okay.
I'll third that.
So from my experience, the way to handle this is so we got Duran as the General Assembly coordinator. We got Tom Shelby as the General Assembly coordinator. And Nick, if you would like, would you accept the position as the International Business Assembly coordinator?
I'm highly interested in looking into that, Justin. I'm not real sure. Like that's if it's international, if it's anything like what we've ran before, it'll be a piece of cake. So yeah, I would absolutely accept that.
Okay.
I yield.
Bravo.
Right.
Thanks, Nick.
Yep. All right. So that just keep in mind these are all titles, okay? And this is being recorded for prosperity and our meeting minutes, because Anna said in the last couple of meetings that she's had that in order and to keep from having to type out meeting minutes and post them, we live in a virtual world. So now we have recordings, and as long as we keep good records of our recordings, then those are our meeting minutes. Okay? So that's why I'm being so anal about this and just repeating everything, just making sure that it's all recorded and everything. Go ahead, Sean.
Like I was saying to you earlier, and I put it in the chat, I volunteered to help the General Assembly. I got that dude's email, and I would like to volunteer to help with the militia pillar to get it going also. And I need whoever's coordinating that, I need their email if I can get that from you, Justin, later. I yield.
That's still up in the air. I think that might be handled tonight. We'll just see how it plays out, okay? Right now, let's just get the whole coordinator thing out of the way, and then we'll get emails worked out, okay? Is there anyone else that would like to step up to be at the county level a coordinator? Okay. So before we do this, we've got Laura on Jefferson County that has stepped up to be the SIA coordinator. We have Nick on Garrett County that has been nominated by Belinda on Bullitt to be the state coordinator, but he has accepted the title of International Business Coordinator. You're all coordinators. That's the key. Okay? You have your lane, just like Tom has his lane in the Duran General Assembly, Nick on international business. But I highly encourage you all to get together offline to start working together as like a coordinator pool, just like Belinda and I work at the recording secretary level as a recording secretary pool. That's how we get this thing going. So is there last call for this
Quick
meeting?
question.
Yes, go ahead, Ron.
When you say general coordinator, what does that cover?
General Assembly, so we have 4 pillars.
So you're changing me from state coordinator to General Assembly coordinator?
I'm not changing anything.
Was I nominated as the state coordinator?
Well, you stepped up for a co-coordinator under Dustin.
Right.
Dustin stepped down. So, I mean, you was the lone coordinator.
Yeah. I'm just looking for clarity.
Yeah, I got you. I understand. I got you. But, you know, the more coordinators, the better, right?
No, I just wanted the proper correction and change to be on the record.
Okay, I got you. Does anybody else want to put any input into this?
This is Ray on Oldham.
Yep.
Hey, you know, when we did the background check, we just did it as coordinator. We didn't really have a title, state or General Assembly. It was coordinator, like you said, because he was co-coordinator. And with virtue of Dustin going away, that made him the only coordinator at the time.
Right. Exactly. And I'm not trying to push anybody out of a seat. I'm
Yeah.
saying you all as coordinators get together and decide it out who works best. If Duran's got talent as being able to speak to people calmly, that's his lane. That's his talent. If Nick's ran 3 businesses, that's his talent. All I'm asking is for everybody that's stepping up as a coordinator to start working as a group of coordinators to figure out, okay, I'm best at this role. I'll take this. I'm best at this role. I'm taking this. It's not. Go ahead, Anita.
Yep. We'll work it out. It out.
Yeah. Got you. Go ahead, Anita.
I was just going to say, wouldn't there have to be one coordinator to do the Sunday calls with the state coordinators? I mean, they can't all be on the call, can they? I mean, there'd have to be one to fill that slot, wouldn't there? I yield.
Well, I've seen many coordinators from one state on that call.
Okay.
I mean, that's something that they're going to have to work out. We as the people in the General Assembly put it out to what we want, and the coordinators make it happen by showing up and getting the information. So, right now we got Duran and Tom. We're getting ready to add Nick and Laura as a SIA coordinator. So, that's just something they're going to have to get on together on their time and set the meetings up and discuss this, and then bring it back next month, the results. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Awesome.
Makes
And
sense.
Awesome. I just want to say one more thing about the vetting for the coordinator position. And this is not just a coordinator position. This is all positions. And I have failed to put this out, but, and Ray on Oldham, this is for your information too. Not only do we do our vetting at the state level, but you remember how Dustin went to the Continental Marshals website and filled out the form, vetting request. That's what all coordinators need to do. And so the coordinators are eventually vetted by the Federation, but we on the state get everything prepared like we've been doing. So we don't change a thing. The only thing, the extra step that is needed is that every coordinator that is elected by the people need to go to the Continental Marshals website and request a vetting. And I can get you all that information. Let's not get hung up on that. It's very easy. I'll get everything squared away on that end. But the coordinators would reach out to the Continental Marshal Service on their website, request vetting, and then we on the state go ahead and do our thing, the clear checks, all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense, Ray? All right. Anybody else got anything they want to add before we do a roll call?
I need access to the DMS through the coordinators, if that's possible. I've already had training on it. And that's for the litigation committee.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to go down the list of participants, and we'll do a yay or nay. So what we're doing a yay or nay on is the motion brought to the floor by Belinda for Nick to become a coordinator. He has accepted the title of international business, but it's my guidance as State Marshal at Arms that they get together on a meeting soon and discuss what role each one of them is going to have. And then we're also going to do a yay or nay on Laura as SIA coordinator, Laura on Jefferson. So that's how we'll handle it. We'll do the first yay on Nick for coordinator position, and then we'll do the second yay on Laura on Jefferson for the SIA coordinator. These are all vetted positions. Everybody squared away on that? Go ahead, Todd. I see your hands up.
So do you want me to jump in there for the militia?
Absolutely, if you feel inclined.
Okay, then add me to that.
Okay.
All right. Way to go.
Nice.
I'll
Yeah,
second that.
very nice.
I
So we
want to
got,
raise my hand. This is Chris on Marion. Yeah.
yeah,
I want to raise my hand for co-coordinator on militia pillar.
okay. And see, Chris, you've already been vetted, right?
Correct.
So the extra step that I failed to mention is you would need to go to the Continental Marshals website and request a vetting. I'll walk everybody through that, okay? Just let's get this out of the way. All it is getting on the Continental Marshals list. We already done the vetting. They're just going to go over what we've done and set up an interview for everybody. Basically what it is. So thank you, Todd, for stepping up for the militia pillar coordinator. And then we got Chris stepping up as a co-coordinator for that pillar.
May I, Justin?
Yes, please.
Well, I guess I'm slipping, but I was thinking about committees, so I yield.
You sure? All right. Okay. So we got Nick on Garrett stepping up as a coordinator or been nominated as a coordinator. We have Laura on Jefferson stepping up as a SIA coordinator and Todd Carney on Grant for militia coordinator and Chris on Marion as co-coordinator. So there's three now. There'll be 3 yays or nays, or there could be a yay, nay, or abstain. It's however you want to do it. Okay. So as we go through this, when your name's called, we'll just go yay for Nick, yay for Laura, yay for Todd, yay for Chris. Right? Anybody got any questions? All right. Real quick, let's try and get this going. Participants. And again, if you're not status corrected, then you're just a visitor here until we can get you status corrected. All right, going down the list. Durham, Morrell Bay, Jefferson County.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so that's a yay for Nick, a yay for Laura, a yay for Todd, and a yay for Chris.
Correct.
Sean on Franklin County.
Yay for all of them.
Easy enough. Anita on Meade.
Yay on all 4.
Thank you. Austin on Jefferson. Welcome home, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks to Belinda, but I'll do yay for all.
Awesome. Belinda on Bullet.
Yay.
For all.
Yes, sorry.
Yay on everybody.
And who was that?
Laura on Jefferson. I'm sorry, I thought you called me. I couldn't quite hear.
Thank you. Bob on Jefferson.
Yay on all 4.
Thank you. Ray on Odom.
Yay on all 4.
Thank you. Chris on Marion.
Yay for all.
Thank you. Keith on Grayson.
Yay for all.
Thank you. Nick on Garrett.
4 yeas.
Is Ashley there?
Yes, 4 yeas. This is Ashley.
Thank you very much. Sean and Laura on Pulaski. I beg your pardon. Sean and Trina on Pulaski.
Sean, all yay.
Trina, all yay.
Thank you. Todd Carney on Grant.
Oh, yay.
Thank you. Tom on Shelby.
Yay for all 4.
Thank you. Melissa Garner on, I think, is it Jefferson?
Yes, yes, sir. I just now got on.
Okay. Welcome home, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Cynthia with Belinda. Cynthia on Bullet.
Yeah, and all 4.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Justin on Lincoln is yay all 4. And that's it. So thank you all very much. When do y'all want your first meeting?
How about next Tuesday? Because our Tuesdays, we don't have anything going since we haven't been having General Assembly meetings
Well, we
every
do,
week.
not to be
If it's
argumentative.
convenient with everybody else, we can do that.
We do have, we talked last time about, it wasn't an official meeting, but do we still want to work in an open call for like an open discussion for people that are interested in the assembly to get outside of the whole, official meeting setting where people can ask questions?
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea too.
So we can do next Tuesday, we'll have your all's coordinator meeting set up, and then the second Tuesday of June, we can do the open meeting. Sound good to everybody?
I like that. That sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm writing it down. So next Tuesday will be our coordinator meeting at 7:00. Correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you. And then the second Tuesday will be our open invite. So y'all invite your friends and family that are interested in what we're doing. If they're on the fence, if they're slightly interested, kind of kicking the tires, they're more than welcome to show up on the second Tuesday of June. All right. I'm going to yield. I'll give it to whoever wants to take it, Deron or Tom.
Go ahead, Tom. You won't finish.
That open invitation, what was the date? For Justin?
Yeah, that's going to be, hold on, I'm trying to navigate my computer. So
Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries. No worries. I'm just trying to get to June.
The coordinator one would be on the 11th. Hold on, I'll pull back up. It'll be 4th and 11th.
Okay. So the coordinator one would be on June 4th. And the open call would be June 11th. I yield. I'll bring the agenda back up.
Yeah, thank you. I yield. Sean Blask.
Still there, Tom?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Anything else for coordinator report? Outreach committee, in need of someone who would like to take over the outreach committee. Looking for more information, join one of Anna's webinars.
Librarian report. In need of someone who would like to take over the Ombudsman Committee and the librarian role. Marshal at Arms report. Justin, you want to take that one?
We already have an ombudsman committee.
Okay, thanks, Laura.
That was outreach, wasn't it? Or was it ombudsman?
It was ombudsman. It's me and Nick and Belinda and Bob, I believe.
But where was that in the new business agenda? We went from coordinator to outreach to librarian, now marshal at arms.
It was in the outreach committee, looking for more information. I don't know. Somebody said something that, ombudsman, librarian report. In need of someone who would like to take the ombudsman committee and the librarian row as well.
I got you. Thank you, Laura. I missed that. Okay, so Laura, you're doing ombudsman committee, litigation committee, and now SIA coordinator?
Yes.
EM4. Okie dokie. So marshal at arms report. Just like I said, all committee leaders or coordinators of pillars should reach out to me at this email to check the Zoom schedule in order to plan meetings that needs to be recorded. I would like people to reach out via email to this email. I'll put it in the chat when I get time to just schedule meetings. They don't all have to be on Tuesdays. They can be whatever day you all want. Okay. They don't have to be at 7 o'clock. We self-govern through this and we'll work it out to where it meets everybody's schedule. So I just want to put it out there that if you need meeting space on the Zoom, reach out to me and I'll schedule it and I'll send you the link and then you send it out to whoever's interested. All right. Now, there's been an issue with the Zoom. We've got 5 gigs of hard drive space on the cloud. Okay. So these recurring meetings that are set up, we had one this last Tuesday at the General Assembly, which we had a man show up and it started the recording and he just sat there for 3 hours. No meeting, but he just sat there for 3 hours. So there recorded 3 hours or nothing, took up the cloud space. Therefore, the last General Assembly training was not recorded because we didn't have the cloud space. All right. So we got to limit it to them to an hour and a half and 2 hours for like a spillover time. All right. So they can be scheduled on the same day. They just cannot be scheduled for the same time frame. It's just like, when you was growing up and you rented a basketball court at the local church or the school. Well, if somebody had it from this time to this time, you couldn't. It's just like that. All right. And then I want to play this last clip that I had queued up about what was discussed today on the podcast about the county levels. Is there any objection to me sharing this real quick? It's very, very quick.
No, please do.
All right, thank you. Give me just a second.
Alaska today. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, everybody.
Yay, we're back, everybody, and we've got folks ready, Anna, with lots of questions here filling up in the chat. Lisa, good morning. Good afternoon.
Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Affirmative.
Good afternoon. Right. So Anna, I have a little bit of news for you. We held our public elections last night and our entire slate was elected. So we've run our ads we've run our announcements, our notices for the last 5 weeks. We'll get ready and publish our results here for the next 5 weeks. And we'll be ready to talk really soon. So
okay. Well, that sounds like Ohio's just speeding along. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, get the job done. And that's what we need in every state of the union. The whole issue of, repopulating the state is key to our success. And as we populate the state, we also obviously are repopulating what's called the union state, the counties, because each and every one of us not only live in a state of union, we also live in a county. And so as each one of us returns home, we're also repopulating the counties. And that's going to become increasingly important in all the discussions and the work that we have going forward, because our government system is exactly inverse to the federal government system, meaning that, for example, the county courts in our system are the supreme courts. And, we have our state courts, which are very powerful, but by their very nature, they address international issues. And as we repopulate our counties, we get our county assemblies built up. Then we have our county courts. And the county courts have the last word. They're the ones that are the actual supreme courts in our country. And that always baffles everyone and is a cause for concern to people. But if you think about it, the form of government that we chose emphasizes the rights of the individual above the rights of the masses. The theory is that if you protect the rights of the individuals, you also protect the best, right? And so we have a structure that's totally flip-flopped to most of the governments on earth. And that is why America is different and great, is that it actually vested the authority in the people, and it separated the national interest from the international interest, such that the counties maintain the national soil jurisdiction in our system. And the national soil jurisdiction has more to say about our daily lives and how we live and what law we live under than all the rest of it combined. Now, isn't that an amazing little flying factoid to take into your mind, that the local people actually have control of their lives and their property in our system? Now, it doesn't make for smooth administration. The military, for example, has always hated it because they view it as being inefficient. But on the other hand, it provides a steady platform for freedom, which is something that the other jurisdictions never truly experience. And the international jurisdictions, you have what's called liberty. But liberty is not the same as freedom. And so when you think of liberty, you think of British sailors coming to port and having liberty, right? So yeah, you can have liberty in the international jurisdictions. But for true freedom, you have to go to the county level, you have to go to the national level. And that's where our national level is vested, is with our counties. Anyway, I'm excited to see this discussion beginning to open up and for our states to be reaching maturity and having their offices filled and having their functions delineated and having, beginning to really gel so that we have our proper form going into the process of organizing the counties, which is the next big job. I was thinking this morning, remember when you were kids and you were out on the playground and some harebrain would come up and they'd say, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes, Johnny or Anna or whoever with a baby carriage, right? And there's a logic to that. First you fall in love, then you get married, then you have children, you have a family, you grow up, right? There's a logic to it. 40% of families in America, the children are being born without an official dad on the record. That's a tragedy. That's a skip in logic. And it's a skip in duty to your family. And now we have this movement all throughout America of the National Liberty Alliance organizing grand juries that don't have courts in back of them, that don't have jural assemblies in back of the courts, and don't have state assemblies in back of the jural assemblies. They're just kind of going out there and declaring themselves grand juries with no logic and no backup for what they're doing. And, they're saying these really ridiculous things, like they're calling themselves the United States Common Law Grand Juries. I'm not joking. United States.
We have just seen that. We were just made aware of that. And it's craziness, just as we talked a couple of weeks ago. It takes 4 pillars to really form an actual government. And they're missing 3 of their 4.
And they're not bothering to declare themselves. They're not bothering to make sure that their people are actually capable of functioning as people. They're just kind of wholesale, whoever shows up is there. And it doesn't matter whether they're a British territorial citizen or a municipal citizen. It's just this free-for-all. And of course it doesn't have standing. Of course it doesn't have the proper backing and legitimacy of a real grand jury. But these people are just off doing something that, they believe in, but there's no logic. There's no foundation underlying it. And when you come forward and you give them the logic, they just kind of look at you like, they don't want to do the work. They just want to, say, oh, we're a grand jury. And it doesn't work that way.
Anna, this brings me back to when we were talking.
All right. So what gives us our standing in provenance? Anybody?
All four pillars standing. Sorry, this is the envelope.
What gives us our standing in provenance as an assembly? Come on.
Declaration, the 1779.
All of our, it don't matter. I'm sorry, I was on speaker. I couldn't hear you. So it's all of our paperwork, whether it's just the 1779 declaration, the 2 witness forms, or if people have gone and done the 928 packets. That's what gives us our standing in provenance. Our paperwork is not a magic bullet. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's only to give us a dog in the fight. Fight's a bad word because we're peaceful and we uphold the public law. All right. So I just wanted to make that known from that point that was just discussed by that clip. Where we go from here is all on everybody, that's all 18 of us that's on this call. We've come home. Now we have to assemble with the Federation's guidance. And the last point that Lisa on Ohio, the coordinator for the Ohio Assembly, made was what we just did tonight. We now have a coordinator for the militia. We now have a coordinator, and keep in mind, these are just titles. A coordinator for the International Business Assembly. We've had a General Assembly coordinator, and we have a General Assembly coordinator. That does not mean we're done by any means. It just means that we have people that have volunteered to step up and lead and get the information and disseminate it to the people that are willing to help the coordinators out. So, is there anyone that's got any questions, comments? If not, I yield. Thank you for the time.
Tom.
Yeah, thanks for that, Justin. That was awesome. That was good to hear. All right, moving on. Go ahead.
Nick's got his hand up. Sorry.
Go ahead, Nick.
Just got a quick question about the vetting process. What do I need to do on my end to get started with the marshals and stuff, the website you were speaking about, Justin?
Ray put it in the chat.
This is Ray on Old Mayor.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So Justin, you're gonna send me an email, correct, on the people that we need to do the vetting on?
Yep, I'll do just like we do.
Okay.
I'll do one for each man or woman tonight. So the list I'm tracking is Nick on Garrett, Laura on Jefferson, Todd on Grant, and Chris is already vetted.
Okay, that's my fault on the Federation thing, guys. I didn't even have it in the SOP, so I'll get that in the SOP, and I'll make sure that's something that we track on from the future.
Yeah.
My
Can I give us a brief explanation on how that came about?
Yeah.
Because the coordinators do work for the Federation, and the Federation is who vets them. But where they're so busy or whatever, where everything's a volunteer process, the guidance that we have is that we continue to do what we're doing on the state, just get everything prepared. And then when the Continental Marshal Service reaches out to us as a state, everybody that we have on the list to be vetted by the Continental Marshal Service will be vetted at that time, just like we did 2 or 3 years ago, Ray. If you can
Okay,
remember.
so yeah, I need to get with you, probably. We probably need to get that for several of us.
Yeah.
Belinda probably would need it. Duran, Tom.
Yeah. And again, I apologize for dropping the ball on it. It's just, the lack of guidance and everything just changes. I dropped the ball on it. So everybody that's been vetted, I apologize, but we'll have to go back. Ray did put the vetting form in the chat. It's at 7:42 p.m. That's the website you need to go to, and you just go to the vetting form. He shared the link, and you just fill that out. Do not pay for a ClearCheck's background. We will do that on the assembly at the state level, okay? Because it's been if like Dustin tried to do it through the Continental Marshal Service, he paid for his ClearCheck's background check, and nobody ever reached out to him. So all we're doing is requesting it through this website, and then I will send Ray, and I'll attach Chris since he's in your office. Ray, I'll attach him, but I'll send you an email for Nick. I'll send you an email for Laura, and I'll send you an email for Todd.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Does that answer your question, Nick?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Are you?
All right, moving on with the militia report. Todd has raised his hand and has been voted in as the militia coordinator, and Chris as chair. Vote needed for that. Or did we already do that vote? We already did that vote, right?
Yeah, we did that.
All right. What is this example?
It's actually information that I was going to share.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Todd. Floor is yours. I yield.
So I sent this information last night over to Belinda for the meeting agenda. So last week when we spoke with Joe Hayes, the PKTF has a meeting room there in Louisville at Suite 112 at 10200 Forest Green Boulevard. That, if I understood correctly, and maybe Chris on Marion or Laura or Bob could correct through our meeting, that's available for meeting as long as the PKTF is not meeting there for any other meetings. Is that the way you all understood it?
Bob on Jefferson's hands raised.
Okay, I can't see anything. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, the first part of that's my understanding as well. That's what I got out of it. But I also want to bring up something with Laura doing the ombudsman and litigation. I'm going to be doing that with her as well. So I guess I needed to be voted, or however you want to do it, because if I do that, I'll have to be vetted as well.
No, not necessarily.
You're on the vetting committee.
We only need one person vetted to lead. Everybody else will be supporting roles.
Also, I believe on that Forest Green Boulevard, we have to pay rent for that if we go use that space, is what I understood Joe was saying on that call, Todd.
Okay.
Like, we can do it, but I think we have to pay for it for that time. I yield.
And I don't recall what that amount was.
I think he said he was going to look into it and get back to us.
Okay. So anyway, knowing that is available if need be, maybe at a, for a fee, The other information we mentioned about having flyers and handouts as contact information, just kind of in general for people getting connected that want to be get information about the Kentucky Assembly and being part of what we are here. So we thought we could do flyers or handouts maybe at local businesses or different places, wherever we were able to put those out. But then Joe come up with the idea of using the business cards, and he used the PKTF cards, and then that information, using that as an example, it could be adjusted, and then it would like to have the Kentucky Assembly seal on the front instead of the PKTF seal. And then you would have contact information, and all that could be adjusted as needed. So those are some of the things that we discussed in the last meeting. I feel like we'll continue to discuss that a little bit tomorrow evening. And then there's a couple other things, but Justin, I want tomorrow evening, if I can get that for 7 tomorrow evening, that's what I want to try to do. And we're going to be meeting like every 2 weeks.
Okay, I got that. I'm tracking that. So every 2 weeks will be Wednesdays. So bi-weekly Wednesdays, right?
Correct.
Cool. And I did create the link for tomorrow night. It's in the agenda. Now keep in mind, if people are showing up, since there's non-status corrected people on this call, unfortunately, they're only allowed at our General Assembly meetings, because our General Assembly meetings are open to the general public. We have nothing to hide. Hi, FBI, if you're out there. You know, it's like Anna says, they can look up my skirt till the sun don't shine. We don't have nothing to hide. We are transparent. We're peaceful people. But unfortunately, to be able to participate in the militia, the General Assembly, you do have to be status corrected. So just do due diligence to make sure that you're doing your business decision and that you kind of are tracking who's status corrected and who's not. I'll help you with that as much as I can, okay?
Okay. As far as that, I mean, that's all I have as far as this General Assembly meeting.
All right. I got you bi-weekly starting tomorrow, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. Thank you, Todd. I yield.
And thanks to Todd and Chris for stepping up, leading the militia pillar. That's really awesome. And to everyone who's raised their hand tonight to lead, that's awesome. You guys are true patriots, and glad to serve with you. Moving on, Treasury report, Belinda. I yield.
Hello, everybody. The Treasury report, I just went ahead and put it into the agenda. We currently have in our Square account $501.31. And I have 250 on hand. And then the 2028-16 with Justin so that makes our total 2,779.47 and a 10 troy ounce bar of silver. And with that, go ahead.
May I comment on this?
Yes.
Thank you. Just keep in mind the Square account, these funds come from our recording and publishing. I'm not talking to you, Belinda. I know you know this. I'm talking to the general public here.
Okay.
The Square account is funded by when we do our recording secretary functions, publishing, recording. Those fees are what what is building our Square account. So David Casimos, Belinda Morrison, and myself are all volunteer recording secretaries. We're volunteering our time. And if you offer to pay us, then for me, speaking for me only, I'm going to decline any donation to me as a man. My donations, I'm going to say, give it to the assembly. Okay? Because I knew what I was stepping into when I stepped up. So strictly volunteer. We appreciate the offers to be able to be compensated for our time, but it's volunteer. Am I wrong on saying that, Belinda?
No, you are not. That is correct.
All right. So I yield.
Thanks, Justin. I yield. It's Belinda on Bullet, sorry.
All right, IT Tech Education Committee report. Ashley on Garrett to provide an update. Ashley, how you?
Hey, yes, this is Ashley on Garrett. I know I've been nominated for the position for IT and the tech, but do I need to be vetted so I can move forward? I yield.
Yeah, yes, that would be awesome. Do you want to go ahead and nail this down? Are you actually wanting to do that role?
Yes.
Cool.
I yield.
Can we do a roll call vote real quick just to make it official?
Yeah.
Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll do it real quick, not to take up too much time. I really appreciate you accepting the nomination, Ashley. So Ashley Gilbert on Garrett County has been nominated. I think I was the one that nominated you. I think Belinda seconded it, and now we'll do the roll call vote on it. And we'll do it the same way we just did. So Ray on Odom.
Yes.
Thank you. Todd Carney on Grant.
Yes.
Thank you. Anita Mead.
Yes.
Thank you. Austin on Jefferson.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. Belinda Morrison on Bullet.
Yes.
Cynthia Owens on Bullet.
Yes.
Bob on Jefferson. Bob Domick on Jefferson.
Yes.
Thank you. Laura Domick on Jefferson.
Yay.
Thank you. Chris on Marion.
Yay.
Thank you. Duran Morel Bay on Jefferson.
Yay.
Thank you. Melissa Garner on Jefferson. Nick on Garrett County.
Yay.
Thank you, Melissa. Nick.
Yay. On Garrett.
Thank
Nick
you.
on Garrett.
Thank you. Sean and Trina on Pulaski.
Sean on Pulaski, yay.
Yay.
Thank you. Tom Gluck on Shelby.
Yay.
Chris on Marion.
Yay.
Keith on Grayson.
Yay.
Thank you. Todd, did I get you? Todd Carney on Grant.
Yes.
Thank you. And I, Justin on Lincoln. Yay. Did I miss anybody? All right. Outstanding. Thank you very much, Ashley.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Would you like to provide an update or an outlook on ideas that you have for the committee?
Yeah, I can't wait to start doing the WordPress training. After I do that, then we'll just get on there and update the website as needed and make it look presentable.
Awesome. I have availability Friday evening. Anybody that is interested, and you especially, if you want the WordPress training, we can go over it.
Yeah, that'll work. Friday
So-
at what time?
Whatever's, let's do in the evening, of course, but what would work for you all?
Anytime Friday. Anytime. Just whatever works for you.
Let's do 8 o'clock Friday evening.
Okay.
That works for me. Well, Justin, it's Belinda on Bullet.
Okay, I got you. So I'll set up an IT committee meeting for Friday at 8 p.m. And then I'm going to add you to the vetting request list that we have going for tonight.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I had a question for Ashley. If she was able to get the ombudsman onto our Kentucky Assembly page. And then I also would like to come to this Friday meeting.
Yeah, I should be able to, but I've not done the training and I don't have access. I think I have to be vetted before I can add and have access to the website. I yield.
What do y'all think? I mean, we can work something out on that. I mean, the vetting, Ray, we don't want to overload you. I know you've got some stuff going on other than the assembly.
No, I'm okay, man. I appreciate that though.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, my sister passed away and it's been a little bit busy, but I'm good. It really depends on the person being vetted. I'm gonna send you out an email, or Chris is gonna send you out an email. That is, if you can answer that email back and do the things that we ask you to do, it can be done in a couple days or really a couple hours. But I don't want to push anybody because I know everybody has work schedules and all that. So I'm good to go on my end. I yield.
All right. So, I mean, I can get you after the meeting on Friday, Ashley, I can get you the assets to the WordPress and the website information. And then basically what we'll talk about Friday is just the WordPress platform and the different, so with WordPress, you have administrative, editor, and publisher. So publisher would be the one creating the information, and editor would have access to some WordPress stuff, but the administrative account would be who's actually able to put stuff on the website. So, but we'll go over all that for the sake of time here. We'll get it all out of the way Friday. The vetting is just pretty much so that you can have access to if the LRO if you wanted it. That's basically all that's for, really. Todd, your hand's up.
I just wanted to mention because Ray was talking about vetting. I just added, just in case you didn't see, I changed the email. So I added it to the chat. So Ray, you would have that new email. You may have an old one. I think Justin may have an old one.
Okay.
I mean, I still use it, but I've changed this new one. So I'm just going to start using this one. But I did learn something interesting. I'm just going to share, FYI, in case you don't know, I shared with Chris on Marion. This is Proton email. For some reason, I thought I had written down the passcode. I did not. I couldn't get in. When I reset the passcode, everything that was previously on there is encrypted and you can't go back and read it. So just FYI, if you have Proton, if you make sure you have your passcode, because if you get locked out, it gets encrypted. I yield.
If I may, on the emails, we on the Assembly have access with the Kentucky State Nationals website, the Ionis platform, the web host that we use. We have 25 emails available for coordinators and people that are serving in positions. So, for example, Todd, if you wanted a, let's say, militia coordinator at KentuckyStateNationals.us, we can set that up to where you can have access just as to do your business through the militia, through the Kentucky Assembly. And that goes, that's cookie cutter for every position. So, for example, right now, Duran has coordinator at Kentucky State Nationals. Tom Gluck has co-coordinator at Kentucky State Nationals. We have state secretary at Kentucky State Nationals. See how the last part is all the same, but the first is the position? We can get that set up. We'll get that set up. Let's just get everybody vetted, get the coordinators discussing what they want to do, and then we'll get all the emails set up. Just send out an email, or let's schedule a meeting with me and everybody or something like that. So we do have access to emails for everybody that's in a vetted serving position. I yield.
All right, moving on with the litigation committee report. Laura, I'll let you handle that.
Yeah, still been going to the litigation committee on Washington through Christy Leeper. So I'm learning a bunch. And anytime anybody wants to learn due process or needs help with litigation, if they could reach out. I don't know about having a meeting now because the last meeting I had, there was very few people at. So I've just kind of been waiting for our assembly to reach out and say it's a need. And I, of course, wanted our General Assembly kind of set up first before we started the litigation. So, and with litigation, I do need access to that DMS. And with that, I yield. No, actually, I was wanting it to know if Ashley and I could maybe have a, I don't know. I need somebody to help me for if I'm going to do a meeting. I don't know how to share stuff. That's where I'm kind of lacking in tech skills myself. I did try sharing something on one of Christy's meetings, but I was on a phone. So she said maybe that's why I couldn't do it. And that's about all I have for that. I yield.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Belinda. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This is Belinda on Bullet. Laura, there are actually, if you go to YouTube, they have step-by-step videos that you can watch. It'll show you from an actual screen in Teams and Zoom. Like you pick the platform and you just say, how do you share your screen in Zoom, or how do you share your screen in Teams? And it'll actually give you a step-by-step tutorial on how to do it. Because depending on, like on the phone, you probably are not ever going to be able to share on a phone. You're going to have to be on a computer because the screens are so tiny that the buttons that you would need to push probably are all smushed together and you wouldn't be able to see them separated out on a phone. But on a computer, it's all at the bottom or the top, depending on where your bar is. It's just a button that's green that says share screen. But you have to have open whatever it is that you want to share on your screen before you hit that share screen button. And then the same thing, to end it, it'll be a little button that says stop sharing. But there are really detailed videos out on YouTube that can help with that. With that, I yield.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The platform I was trying to share on was WebEx, so I think it's probably a little bit more difficult than Zoom too. I yield.
No, they're the same. They're pretty much the same. They just have different buttons.
This is Justin on Lincoln, may I?
Go ahead.
Laura, I make a suggestion that if you're going to be there Friday, we could briefly go over that on Friday if you'd like, as far as an IT committee type thing. Do you have any objections to that, Ashley?
No, that'll work.
Cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be sure to log on the computer.
Yeah, just be sure if you can, just do a little research beforehand. That way, makes it go a little smoother. Like you always do.
Yeah, I do. I on YouTube, do I just type in Zoom share tutorial?
Yep. YouTube University, baby. I'll use it for everything. Changing the brakes on your truck, learn how to share on Zoom, anything.
How to change a lawnmower tire. Hey, it's very useful.
Yeah, I mean, it beats paying people for stuff. You can do it yourself. The majority of stuff we can all do ourselves. I yield, but we'll talk about it Friday.
All right, moving on. Thanks, Laura, for taking on all that you're doing. It's really awesome. I'm glad to see you stepping up and making things happen for the litigation and in the General Assembly. General Assembly Committee report. We recently finished up 59 chapters of the General Assembly Handbook as a review for the General Assembly. So we can stand with a relative amount of confidence as a group saying that we have a basic understanding of the concepts involved. And so it's exciting now to take the next step and to elect our officers and eventually get our committees up and running. So the first thing I need to try to make sure is that a Sunday afternoon works for everyone as far as a meeting goes to continue our General Assembly. My recommendation is to do it twice a month, kind of like Todd's doing with the militia. Every other Sunday, 6 or 7, whatever works for everyone. And this first meeting, I'd like to do it this coming Sunday and get a good bit of our officers elected. Unfortunately, I'm not at home. I don't have the ability to show the list of our officers. They are in the General Assembly Handbook. And so that's the first 2 things I'd like to do is establish a meeting space for the General Assembly and get our officers elected. And so I throw that out there. Any comments, suggestions for meeting and holding elections? I yield.
Tom, do you know what page in the General Assembly that they're on? By chance? If not, it's not a big deal.
The bulk of them are in the table of contents. You'll see them coroner, bailiff, bondsman, sheriff, justice. Most of them are listed in the table of contents. There are some other ones that we're going to need, but of interest in the sheriff position. So if you are interested in sheriff, let me know and I'll get you the information that Joe has sent out, and then the sheriff training. But I think we could get a pretty good start at our first meeting and go from there. I yield.
Just a quick question. I think Belinda is already a justice. Are you willing to fill that, Belinda, on our General Assembly? I yield.
I'm sorry, what was that?
On the General Assembly, we need a justice. Oh, I'm thinking of justice of peace. I'm sorry. I yield.
I can marry people. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, he said justice and I was confusing it with justice of peace. So that's my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and schedule with Justin our first meeting after training for this coming Sunday at 6 p.m. And we'll just go down the list and start seeing who wants to be whatever role that are involved, and anyone who wants to be there and interested in taking position in the General Assembly, show up and raise your hand, and we'll elect you for whatever position you're interested in. And then the step beyond that, I think once we get some offices elected, we can start working on committees. So keep that in mind as we go forward. I'm also in the process of printing out the membership agreement for the jury members and our statement of values. So I'll try to have that done by Sunday. So anything else for General Assembly?
I'm interested in the justice position. I'll talk to you about that on Sunday.
Okay, great. Love to have you. yeah, if you're involved and you're interested, and you want to do it, then it's probably going to be yours.
Absolutely. I'm all for it.
And if you're not interested in a position, you just want to be there to vote to see us set up our pillar, which is pretty exciting. That's really going to help our people, the American State Nationals that find themselves in deep water with the de facto. If we can pull them out of the de facto and put them back where they belong with our courts, I mean, that's really an exciting thing. And the sooner we can do that, the better. So if you just want to vote, be there to vote to give a strong number to the vote. That would be awesome too.
This is
Okay.
Justin.
Go ahead, Justin.
I'm tracking bi-weekly, 6 o'clock, Sundays.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Starting Sunday, right?
That's correct.
Very exciting. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you. I yield.
Hoorah. Okay, recording secretary report. Anyone want to jump in and tackle that one?
Hi, yes, this is Belinda on Bullet.
I yield.
Hello, everybody. We just wanted to put some stuff together. I know in the past, I had not been charging for additional forms and stuff. And so after doing some initial research and things like that, we actually did find out that there were fees that I was not charging. So I do apologize. So before I started charging them and doing those things, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that in a meeting so that everybody is aware. So the recording fees and the publishing fees have not changed. They're still at $25 for both publishing and recording. If we do mail your paperwork back to you in priority mail, there is a $10 fee for that. And if we're going to meet somewhere, and this is just because I do this, most people don't, they do the priority mail to mail things back. So it's either a $10 priority mailing fee or gas fee, whichever one, whether we're meeting to drop off documents or mailing. And then for any additional forms that you want to put out there onto the LRO that have not anything to do with your 928 packet. If it's additional form for your 928 packet, that should be with your publishing fee and recording. I'm talking about extra documents that you just want to add to your LRO account. It is extra $5 for each one of those additional, I guess, files, documents. I'm not sure how to put that per se. So again, it's something I haven't been charging, but I wanted to put that out there so that everybody kind of sees that fee and knows what it is moving forward. The LRO site is actually back up and going now. There's been a lot of changes that's happened. You'll notice if you go out there and look at the LRO, there's a lot of things has kind of moved around. Everything is still there. It's just on different tabs. So like the common carry and your fee schedule and baby deeds are no longer on that front form. When you go in under notices, you can find your common carry and your fees underneath notice, the actual notice tab under the documents tab. And then the baby deeds have now moved to the private tab. So, because that's got document or got information in there that's pertinent to your child that you want to kind of keep private. You don't want to give that out to anybody unless you want to. And putting it underneath that private tab allows you to have access to it, but not everybody else. Justin, did you want to add anything on that site? Did I miss anything as far as the updates that you've been able to tell so far?
No, you covered it. Just a brief explanation about the extra document. Just take an example. So your revocation of election to pay taxes. Once you get that sent in, then we need everything in one PDF. So we need the example of the notice you sent. We need the proof that they've received it, and all on one PDF. So it could be 3 pages on one PDF. That would be one document. Or for the other end of the spectrum, let's somebody's right in the middle of an administrative process. administer a due process. The first notices of liability could be 20 documents, but it needs to be in one PDF to where we can print it out, put a publishing stamp on it, then scan it back in. So there's a little unknown of what's involved in the background. Just because, you send us a PDF doesn't mean that we can straight publish it to the LRO. Us as recording secretaries have to take the time to print it out, put a red Kentucky Assembly of publishing stamp on it, and then publish it to the LRO. And also, I wanted to point out that the LRO is just one resource that we have for publishing on the public record. Once we put a publishing stamp on it as a recording secretary, we have the guidance that we're supposed to make a copy and add it to everybody's state file that we have going. Okay. So that therein lies, it's published. It has a publishing stamp. It's published in your record on file on the land and soil jurisdiction documents that we maintain here or on a hard drive or anywhere. So just keep in mind that it's not just as simple as sending a PDF and having it published. It means that the recording secretary has to print it out, put a publishing stamp on it to make it an official document, and then publish it to the LRO. So, and we're learning, we're going through the whole process, and we self-govern, course correct as we go, but that's pretty much it. I encourage everybody to take the time to go on and look at your LRO account, look the changes that have been made. And also, if you're trying to do it on your phone, it's not very phone friendly. It's better to get on a computer and look at your LRO account. Oh, yeah.
And there are also tabs that are on the LRO that are not visible on the phones if you are logging into your LRO. And that's what he's talking about. So we have had some issues with some of the tabs not showing up, and I was able to confirm that if you are on your phone, there will be some things on the LRO that will not come up on a phone, but they will come up on a laptop or desktop computer, anything with a bigger screen. They even said that most tablets would allow you to see all of the tabs, but if you're using like a smaller tablet it's got to have some kind of update or something in it that allows it to think it as a computer. So other than that, those are the updates that I have on the LRO and then the recording stuff. And I also put my email in there, and David's email and Justin's email for anybody who needs to reach out to get documents published. And then we also have several notarers that we have Keith and Laura, in addition to us three, that can meet with you to notarize documents for you. And Bob as well on Jefferson. So that's Laura on Jefferson, Bob on Jefferson, and Keith on
Grayson,
that can notarize documents for your 928 documents. And then they can get them over to us for publishing and recording. Is there any questions on that?
Laura's got her hand raised.
Laura?
I was just going to ask if true bills needed to be recorded on the LRO, because I've sent quite a bit of those out. I'm sorry I didn't get to ask Christy on that. And our the notice of provenance and jurisdiction, the ones that they're doing, they've changed it and they've put it as criminal information and notice of liability. So we've been doing a lot in the litigation committee, and I have done those. I just haven't sent them over to you all to record because I mean, honestly, I'm pushing out at least 5 documents a week, and we can't even afford $25 to record them all. So I'm just kind of going with it. I yield.
Yeah, publishing is completely up to you. It's part of your self-governing. Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. That's what I was going to say was the LRO is just a resource. Okay. If you have a global family bank account, I encourage you. I don't have it. I don't have one. I haven't been able to get one set up. No boohoo for me. It's just what it is. But those of you that do have a global family account and are able to access that, there's a lot of stuff in there that if you all don't realize you don't need to, I would encourage you to spend some time researching that account, because you're supposed to be able to publish your own documents to the LRPS. And don't hold me to this, but the LRO was created by people, men and women on Washington State. Okay. LRPS is Land Recording Publishing Services. Okay. So you're supposed to be able to put your own documents out there on your own public record. You got the LRPS, you got the LRO, you got newspapers. If you've got a good county clerk in the C jurisdiction, you're supposed to be able to go to the county clerk and do it. So the LRO is just a resource. And so that's a stick in my craw with Christy Leeper and all them on Washington putting it out that we have to do it. Yeah, we will do it for you. Absolutely. But, you know, there's other resources out there that are meant to be used in the self-governing process to be able to get this done. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't looked at the Global Family Bank account that you have set up, it's out there. It is functional, and it's functional with other status corrected men and women. They built it. We have to market it and pitch it to everybody. That's the only downside of the whole thing. We have no corporate backing on the assemblies. We are our own help. So we are our own intellectual data. So the more people that can get on the Global Family Banking account and research it and see what tools are out there and how to be used and can bring that back to the assembly, the more that the people that have those accounts are going to benefit from it. So I yield.
I just want to say something about the Global Family. Hey, Justin, thank you so much. I didn't know about that. I will definitely look into that. But on that, you have to open a Vault account to be able to transfer your FRNs to AFDs. So I just got that set up yesterday. But yes, I've had a Global Family account for a couple months now. I yield. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Belinda. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Laura. Vetting report, Ray.
Vetting report. Okay, we got a lot of vetting coming up. So, Chris, I'll be reaching out to you. And Durand, are you still on here? So Durand is also one of our vetting personnel that I still need to train. So we'll be also working on that as we move through these 4, I think it is, vetting personnel. So other than that, I think we're good to go on vetting. Appreciate your time. I yield.
Thanks, Ray. Secretary report.
Yes.
You.
Sorry, this is Belinda on Bullet for the secretary report. Cynthia's actually here with me and going over the role. Basically, we're going to share it until. Do you want to share why we're sharing it? Is that okay? Okay. Cynthia is going to be having open heart surgery in the next couple of months. So I'm going to maintain the role until after she recovers, and then we'll take over with that. And with that, I yield.
All right. Thanks, Belinda.
Hey, Tom, may I make a suggestion?
Go ahead, Justin.
I suggest that everybody takes the time to read over the last part of the agenda here. For everybody's general knowledge, when you receive a link to these meetings, especially General Assembly meeting, there are attachments. And what was attached this week was our agenda, which I'm encouraging you to go ahead and read the rest of this for sake of time. Also, what was attached was our Kentucky Assembly values, and also the recording fees and procedures that we've had out for a while, so that we're all on the same page, so that you can get caught up on that. But I suggest, for the sake of time, There's been a lot of questions in the chat as far as, self-governing issues. I would just make a motion that we adjourn, stop the recording, and anybody that wants to stick around and help answer questions to all the new people to the Land and Soil, we do that.
I second that.
Awesome.
I'll give it a third if we get it.
So we're gonna adjourn till June 25th.
It's at the bottom of the agenda. I thought it was the 24th.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'll keep scrolling. Yep.
But make sure I'm right. Can anybody see their calendar?
Let's see. The last Tuesday in June is actually the 25th.
Okay. So I'll update that.
We got it on the recording, so
Okay.
just take, whenever you get time. So I made the motion that we adjourn to June 25th, 2024 for our next General Assembly meeting. Belinda seconded. Is there any abstains? Any nays? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Just remember that we got a lot of going on. Thank you, everybody, for stepping up tonight. Slowly but surely, we will get there.
I'm very impressed with our progress since I've come on in January. We only had a General Assembly then, so it at least gives you the hope and the excitement to keep going. I yield.
Thank you, Laura. I'm gonna stop the recording.